Hey everybody, Matt Griswold, Neighborhood Real Estate, and I am with somebody who really, you don't need an introduction, right? This is Mark Stevens, and if you've been in the area or community and for any amount of time, then you're familiar with this face, right? That's the moneymaker right there, right?
That's moneymaker. It's the face behind the camera.
Yeah, I don't know. That might have been a horrible introduction, but if you were to introduce yourself, what would you say?
I'm a town guy. I'm of Bolivar. I'm of this place, and this place defines me very much.
Yeah.
And so if I was describing myself, who am I? What am I? Bolivar is very near to the front, to the first sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was formed by this place. I grew up here. I I became established here, and I spent 50 years in business here.
Yeah.
And this place is of me.
What brought you here in the first place?
You know, I grew up here. My parents were here. Southwest Baptist, unlike like so many people that live here, Southwest Baptist University brought them here.
Drew you in, and you couldn't leave.
That's right. That's right. Couldn't get out. Couldn't get out the thing.
Yeah.
My parents were involved in World War II. They met during World War II in Kansas City at quite a moment in the history of our
That's
country.
amazing.
And Dad, on the GI Bill, afterwards went to a photography school in Aurora, Missouri. MWN Dexter was there. That's just down the street from where Dave Barry grew up.
Wow.
I mean, I think they can see his house from there. But anyway, they found that there was an opportunity to move to Bolivar and photograph the registration line at SBU.
Wow.
And they made a killing. I bet he made like $5. But it wasn't something after World War II. We're just going to move in and we're just going to do this. And they had a studio in town on the square where the feed store is right now.
Wow.
Was their studio. It was the studio was on the second floor of the feed store, which is, I'm not sure that still exists. I think they may have taken it out. The third floor is where they lived.
Wow, that's cool. And you know, I love the people stories. I love the people stories. You're one of my favorite people to talk to, candidly, just because I like to have fun during the conversation. You like to have fun during the conversation. And I feel like we can just kind of go back and forth together. So that was the reason that you moved to Bolivar. I guess the question is, especially for this series, you know, why do you choose to call Bolivar home? Because ultimately you had choices. You probably had opportunities. Yeah. And why do you continue to choose to call Bolivar home?
Well, I had dropped out of college, and
Step one.
My prospects drop out of college. Right. My prospects were zero, and 21, and I had lived a few places. And I lived in Colorado, lived in California for a while, and thought, well, my parents said, okay, you're coming to work for us. There's an opportunity here, and the clock was ticking. I was kind of aware of. Yeah, it's time. It was time for me to do something, to learn something. So they offered me a position at the studio.
Okay.
And I came to work for them. This is 1977. This is April 12, 1977 was my first day at the studio.
Yeah, that's great.
And that was how I got involved.
One of the reasons why I wanted to do this interview anyway, and by the way, we're at your house. This is a beautiful, beautiful place. And if it looks like I'm overlooking the camera, I'm not trying to overlook the camera. It's just beautiful. We're up on a hill, and you know, we can see the rest of the homes there. You feed the deer right here. Like, it's just one of those picturesque.
You can see downtown Bolivar. You can see
there's the water tower.
You can see Northward. You can see the roof of Northward right next to the water, just to the right of it. You can see.
I can see it.
That's where my photographs. My dad took my first photograph probably when I was in first grade.
Yeah.
And I was in kindergarten at First Baptist Church. That was where Bolivar Kindergarten was. There was no public kindergarten.
Okay.
We went to kindergarten at the First Baptist Church when I was a kid.
That's great. You've had the opportunity to, and I know you don't like to talk about it, but you've had the opportunity to impact so many people's lives with fun and memories by taking pictures. I remember being able to do the Dancing with the Stars when we kind of recognized you for doing those, and I asked the audience at the time, how many of you have ever had a picture taken by Mark Stevens? And hopefully that was kind of a cool moment for you, because you could see the amount of people that stood up. How cool is that? I mean, you've had the opportunity to do so many me included, and I'm not saying that you have to say I'm the best model, but top three probably.
You were not the best.
Top three though, right? I can live with top three.
Maybe three. You're third. I'm third.
the one shot.
Got it.
And it's it's because grab your phone here real quick. Let's just act like that's a camera, and you could just take my picture right now. But this is the secret that Mark's there. Like coach me up here.
Work with me, baby. Be
like
yourself. Own it. Feel the love. Okay. Yes. Show me something. Show me something.
Right. Yeah. All of those. I mean, I feel like I nail that. I feel it's just so natural. It's just so natural to me. But so your family's still here. The kids are being, for the most part. I know you have a son that
this son in Seattle.
Washington.
He's a photographer there. I just spoke with him, and he's just come back from a convention of sorts in Los Angeles. He and his wife just came back from a thing in Los Angeles.
Very cool.
Photographer's deal. So he's really good. He's really equipped. The technology of photography really shifted gears in the middle of my stream, and it was something that was I wasn't as equipped to take as he has. He can. Yeah. He can do it all.
You talked about how long the studio has been downtown there, and of course the Stevens Building. You're familiar with that. And I remember one time, ironically, there's going to be another video because it's in edit. I've gotten an interview before, and I'm glad we did it when we did it at the studio because. Right after that, it's no longer a studio, and so we got to kind of I'm excited to see that. Anyway, you had talked about the history of just how Bolivar has changed, and I remember one of those things you said was you could sit in the window there and watch the Dunnigan brothers drive by on the way to to work.
They drive this Dodge. They didn't drive. They had a driver. But drive them from their home just 2 blocks back behind the studio to the bank 1 block in front of the studio.
Yeah, which is which is incidentally where the neighborhood real estate office is now. I think when you talk to Dusty,
the bank building,
in the bank building, the old bank building, Dusty's office is actually was the office there.
I think I spoke with them one time in my life, and that was right after the moon landing, and I somehow got a hold of some images of the moon landing of Armstrong's footprint in the sand here, and I wanted to bring them up and make a display in the bank.
Okay.
And I spoke with one of the guys, and he just kind of shook his head and said no. Which was their favorite word, I think they used. If you want to borrow, they didn't. It was kind of odd. Their thing was they didn't. Their reputation was they don't loan money.
Oh.
It's a bank, and they didn't loan money. That's why they made it through the Depression.
Yeah.
And why they owned everything after the Depression, because they had a lot of money before it, and they still had it.
Yeah.
They hadn't loaned a dime.
That's great. I did a video the other day from the park, and they're talking about the land was donated by the Dunnigan brothers for the park. But
SBU would not be here but for them, and the hospital would not be here for them. So take SBU out, and take the hospital out, and what do you got?
Wow.
So the Dunnigans, I'm deriding them. I need to let you know the other side of it. They also made this place.
Yeah. So what are some other fun facts that you think people might want to know about town, or Bolivar, the community, or maybe something that sticks out to you of like, man, this is really the reason why I chose to stay here?
Yeah. Well, opportunities, and opportunity to have a profession and learn the craft here, and then become absorbed and enveloped in the community is what kept me here. But it's about people, and this has been a community that has wrapped its arms around me and I around it, and I've been very, very, very fortunate. I mean, in very real ways.
I can't wait to see that.
People like your folks, like the Griswolds, like.
I appreciate that. We have your pictures on the wall.
Yeah.
We have your pictures.
You have a picture of George Brett on your.
I do. I have an autographed bat from George Brett. Baseball for George. Yeah, that was you.
Your mom was at a thing. Gerald Andrews had me photograph at the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, and I got to meet a lot of my sports fans. I'm a
were you handing the people? Were you handing the camera to people going, here, get this?
Hey Lou, the whole thing, Jack Buck. I mean, I've got so many great stories because of that. What a great opportunity! This camera has been a passport to lives.
Wow.
It literally was. I don't know anybody, but I got to be right in the middle of everything because of this thing that I got here.
Yeah, I love it. I'm more of a Royals fan, and so
anyway, I got to hang with George Brett.
One of my all-time
Nick
favorites.
Hauser.
Wow.
And spend time with these people.
85 series. Yeah.
Frank White.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't get me exactly
Daryl
going
Porter.
on. I remember being able to go to Kansas City. Both my parents from Kansas City. I remember being able to go, growing up, and being able to just walk up and buy a ticket. One day in particular, we walked up and buy a ticket. This is the late 80s at this time, I think. And we sat right on the left field line, and Bo Jackson is playing left field. I mean, come on.
I got to hang with Bo Jackson. Got to hang out with Bo Jackson.
That's amazing.
Bo Jackson isn't as tall as I am. He's these guys, they're bigger than life. I mean, he can literally walk on walls.
I've seen it. I know what you're talking about.
It's a great story from the A's when they used to be at the downtown ballpark. Oh gosh, I'm going to lose the announcer's name that they used to have to come. There was the A's announcer would kind of come be the master of ceremonies, or postmaster from things. He would tell stories about. He said we couldn't draw flies down at the down there. He said so one day. In fact, several people were sitting around the office in Kansas City at the Royals or the A's office,
downtown.
and it was somebody picked up the phone, and it was a little late. She said, what time does the ball game start today? And they said, well, what time can you get here?
We'll wait for you.
What time can you get here? Nobody showed up. They couldn't get anybody. Now, I guess there's a lot of talk about them, but the A's maybe going out, maybe to Speedway, maybe. There's a lot going on there. We'll see how that ends.
Yeah, people are passionate about it, but I'm gonna let's do this. I'm gonna wrap this part up, but then I want us to go inside. I want to. There's a picture in there. I want to get a picture of. I just want to hear the story of this picture.
How much time do you want this to be? Does this need to take 15 seconds? Or
no, I mean you can take.
How much of this?
Well, personally, I just kind of want to hear the story personally, but I wanted to capture you telling the story, and so. But I'm going to share the story of the birds. And this is the unique thing is again, if we had. All day, it's cool. You're one of the only folks that I know maybe that you could say that, not only did we build the house, but all the art in the house is actually, I also took all the pictures too. But this one struck me in particular because, at first you walk by and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. How'd you capture that moment?
The waves and the wave of the natural wave of their flight pattern is just, it's very striking to me.
Yeah.
How nature works, not just in the ocean, not just the waves there, but how the birds fly, how they are. They're not going fast because they're flying very quick. They're flying against the wind. Yeah. But
and what'd you do? Did you just set them up and said, "Okay, freeze right there.
Now,
that's it."
Go. And they were. This was quite a tale. We were at a resort in Acapulco.
Okay.
And this was, like 3 or 4 miles down the beach. At sunset, we would get on a 4-wheeler from time to time and just the two of us drive down the beach and to see the scene, see what there is to see, and it was a beautiful place. But I had been told that there's this flock of a seabird. I don't even know what those are. I've never looked to see what they are. Some type of seagull. Anyway, there's a big bunch of them down on the beach down there, and it's something to go see. So, let's go see that because I'm tired of sitting here drinking Mai Tai. Let's do something else.
Yeah.
So I drove down and got pretty close to them, and of course they spotted us, and then we went on past them, and they all got out and flew. They thought, well, we got to see that. So I had the camera with me. So we set it up. Yeah. I got off away, and I wanted to have it, and it is the sunset. It's at the sweet light. It's when the sun is actually just barely on the horizon. way over to the right, and I get it set up. And Susie, when you're ready, you just get this 4Runner and just drive past, and they will all get up.
Yeah.
And we did 3 or 4 or 5 shots of it. They would fly. They would just get up and then go drop right straight back down, like this guy. He just whoop. And so we did it 3 or 4 times, and off we went. And boom, 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 and got home and thought, man, that would look nice.
Is there any truth to you actually got to take on the second one, but you just liked watching Susie go back and forth? And
Well, I didn't know you realized
one more
that.
time.
I didn't know
One
you
more.
did that. That's happened a lot.
One more time.
That's happened a lot.
You're not even taking pictures anymore.
we got
Click,
the
click,
shot.
click, click.
With children, especially little children. I mean, we got it. But the child falls in love with Susie, and they still have to do their thing for the next half an hour. I'm on in the other room having a libation, and she's in the home with the kid. We got the shot. And that was the same thing here. But we've
That's
been
great.
very much a team. It has been a team effort.
Yeah.
And with Susie and I working at this, and
Yeah.
I've gotten to be. It's been great for me because I get all the credit.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Mark. Thanks
Yeah,
for the
thanks for letting me
conversation.
do this.
This has been awesome.
Matt, this is a treat for me.
Yeah, no, it's great for me. I mean, I'm so glad that you're always eager to be able to take me up
Yeah.
on my crazy ideas, and this is one of those ideas. But this again, Matt Griswold, Neighborhood Real Estate. If you're looking to buy a home or property within Bolivar, hopefully maybe some of these things, maybe some of these stories here, the reasons that you're hearing why Bolivar is such an impactful place, or the surrounding area is such an impactful place to folks like Mark, then let me know. I'd love to help you find your dream home or property. Thanks.